In this lecture, we're going to be reviewing adding in forms. There are three types of forms that you can add to a Wix website. The first is a newsletter form, and this is where users will fill out their email address and then you're going to send them a newsletter or let's say promotions or sales or updates. Second, we're going to add a Wix contact form. Typically, you add this to the contact page, and once a user has filled out the form and you've received it, you'll follow up with them later. And then third, we're going to be reviewing third-party applications that also do provide forms. And this is great for you just to know all of the options that you have for your forms, but it is going to be important that we review those other providers because some of them will give you more features than the typical Wix contact form will. Let's begin. The first thing that we're going to add is our newsletter form. I'll go right here to the plus sign, add, and then I'll click on contact, and then I'll make my way to a section called Get Subscribers, and I'll click on here, and this form is the newsletter form. You'll want to go ahead and drag that to wherever it is you want it to be placed. But ultimately, the greatest thing about the newsletter form is that once a user has filled it out and entered in their information, you then have the ability to be able to send them updates. Once again, you can send them sales and promotions, new information, whatever it is that might be beneficial for the users in this particular group to know. Once you have it positioned the way you want, you'll click on it, and then you'll click on Settings. You'll see all of the setting options that you have on the left. And the first thing that you can click on is Manage Form. What you're doing in this section is you're editing the form and the content that's shown. So the first thing that you'll see is new subscriber notifications. You most likely do want to receive the notifications for anyone that's filled out the form, so you'll leave that checked and you'll enter in your email address. The next thing is what you want to show as the information to collect. So if you don't want it to say email address, you might want it to say email. You might also want to collect their name, so you can click on name. Then, if you do want to make something required, you can click this info is required. You can also collect their phone if you want to collect that. The next is the title. This is the primary title of your newsletter sign up. So you can click on the title and then type in newsletter sign up. The next is your subtitle. So for your subtitle, you could put in, let's say, receive promotions and sales. And then if you didn't want the button to say subscribe now, you could hit subscribe today. Whatever it is that you feel as if will work best. Clicking outside, you can then see how our content has changed. The title, the subtitle, the different fields, and then the button. Now, clicking back to this section, I'm going to go to layout. With layout, I can change how the form looks. I can make it vertical to where everything is side by side, and you can conserve some space this way. I'll click back on it, click on settings, go back to layout, or I can make it vertical. I can also adjust the header alignment as well, and what that does is it makes the header centered along with the subtitle. Going back to settings once more, I can then go back to layout and I can shift the body alignment as well. So if you want everything to read from the right side, you can also do that. Now, the next thing I'm going to click on is design. You can change ultimately how this entire form looks. You can first select between a variety of different styles. I'm a big fan of strip, so I'll go back to that. Then I can click on header. I can ultimately adjust the color of the title itself and the subtitle. Also, because it is a title, I might want to adjust the sizing of the title to where it stands out a little bit more than the subtitle. I change the size. I can make it bold. Okay. Then I can go back and I can change the background. I might not want a border, so I could take that away. And then I'm happy with the background being white. I'll go back. Then I can go to a section called fields. So right now the fields are gray. I don't necessarily like that, so I can make them white. Then the text that I'm going to enter in the fields would be blue, but I want that to be black. Going back again, I can then, last but not least, click on button, and I can change the color from this light blue to the yellow. and I might not want a border, so I'll change the width from 1 to 0. And then once I'm done, I can click the X, and here you have it. It's our newsletter sign up form that goes along with the theme that we already have of black and yellow. Clicking right back on this form again, I'll click on settings, and then I can click on pop-up. So if you do want to add in a pop-up, which is also known as a light box, you have this ability. You can of course click on got it, and you can create that. In another lecture, we're going to be reviewing light boxes, so we will return to this. But of course, I wanted a lecture dedicated to light boxes because you don't have to just have a light box committed to utilizing a newsletter sign-up form. You can use a light box for many different things. So if you do want this to pop up, go to the lecture called Light Box. Once, of course, you're done identifying if you do want the light box or not, you can come right back to this screen, and then you can click on Publish. The next thing that we're going to review is adding in a contact form. Now, typically, when you add a contact form, you're going to add it to the contact page. So we're going to navigate there, right to the contact page. Once you're there, you're going to go right back to the add section where you were before. Then you're going to go to contact, and this time you're going to scroll down a bit, and you're going to find the contact form that you might want. Now, there are a lot of colors, but ultimately you can change the color, so don't be discouraged. I can click right here on the green, and then this contact form is added. Now, this is a Wix provided contact form, which they don't give you a lot of options. It's basically just asking for a name, an email, a subject, as well as a message. But this is the basic of what an individual might just want to see on a contact page anyways. So the first thing you'll do is you'll click on it, and then you'll want to set your email. You can put your email in, and then there are a couple of more options that you can fill out, such as phone and address if you want to add that. But typically, everything you see here is the minimum of what you can request on a Wix provided contact form. If you don't want something there, you can unselect it. If you want it back, you can click it. If it is required, you can click on the star. If it's not, of course, you can unselect it. If you do want to change the field name, you just click on it. So if you don't want it to say name, you could say title, whatever it is you feel as if is most appropriate. And then scrolling down a bit more, you can see right here for the contact form messages that pop up. So right here, success, you've received the message. And then if the email's missing, you can enter this message here. Or if something is wrong or missing, you can add this here. It's just a message. But for generic purposes, you can leave it there if you'd like. Clicking X, I'll then click on Layout. So you can, of course, change how the text is aligned. The most common is what's already selected. You can then click on Design. You can change the design of your form. So if you're happy with the layout of this form, you can go ahead and click on Customize Design. If you're not, you could scroll down and you can select another layout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Customize Design. The first thing that you're going to see is the opportunity to change the layout once again. You're going to see different formats at the top. So of course you can click on any of these and notice how the style is changing. The next thing we're going to do is change the colors. So the field background is white. I'm happy with that. The next thing I'll show you is the button background. I want that to be yellow, so I'll make it yellow. Here is the border. It is green, so right now I'm going to make it black. Going to the corners, you might want them rounded, so of course you could type in any number here or there. A shadow is enabled shadow on the form. You can kind of see it on the button. It's kind of a halo effect, but it is a shadow. And then last but not least, you could change the text. If you want to change the label color, you could change that. So you can, of course, make it whatever color you want. I'll make it yellow. Once I'm done with that, I'll go right back to text. And the user input info, I'm happy with it being black, so I'll select that. And then, of course, I can change the fonts as well. And I can also change the button as well. I'm happy with the yellow, so I'll leave it. But if I wanted to, let's say, change the color, I would have that option to do so. And that's it. You have your form added to your contact page. The next thing that we're going to review are the form providers in the Wix app market. Now, the reason why we're going to review these other providers is because if you do remember, with the generic Wix contact form, you can only request certain types of information. Going back to settings, if you notice here, you can only request name, email, phone, address, having a subject, and a message. If you wanted to have something else, if you wanted a more extensive form, you would not be able to do that with the Wix contact form. Therefore, we're going to look at other providers of forms where you get a little bit more. The first thing we're going to do is click on App Market. The next thing that we're going to do is type in forms here, or if you scroll down a bit, you'll see a category called forms. You'll go ahead and click on that. All of these providers are form providers. The most popular are at the top. If you notice that at the bottom left, you see the reviews, and at the bottom right, you see the download number. So for 123 Form Builder, there's been about 1.8 million downloads, so that lets you know it's popular. Form Creator has about 421 reviews, 125,000 downloads, and if you scroll down some more, you can see all of the other providers. Now, again, the reason why we're doing this is because these providers will give you a tad bit more, but not all of these are free. They do have free features, but to have the full content of what they're going to provide, you might have to upgrade the application to get that premium feature that you might be looking for. So for instance, I'll hover on 123 Form Builder, and you'll see right here that it says free and premium. So the first thing we'll do is we'll click on it, and you'll see an overview of the application. So you can first read the description. The second thing is you can click on Demo, and what this will give you the ability to do if they have it is to see a demo of what they have in here. The next is features and pricing, which is very important to look at because you wouldn't want to add the form or the application thinking you're going to get access to everything and you won't. For example, with the 123 Form Builder, they only give you 10 forms at a minimum under their free package. With the premium, you get 30. The premium starts at about $3.99, and that's $3.99 per month. You can, of course, scroll down a tad bit more to see everything that you're going to get with the premium option. If you click on reviews, you can also see the different reviews that individuals have left for this application as well. You can also add a review if you have a review to add. Once you're ready to add this application to your website, you'll click on Add to Site. Now, please remember that you're only going to get the basic features that are here under free. So we'll click on Add to Site, and then you'll click on Add App, and what happens is you see this application added to your page. I'll delete the contact form from Wix, and then you see the new contact form through the 123 form provider. Now, quite similar to any app, you just click on it and then you click on settings, and then from there you can make changes. I'm not going to go into this in a lot of detail because there are 29 applications and all of them are uniquely different, but I will say most common when you add it, it's going to pop up and then you click on settings. If you are ready to upgrade to the premium features, you click on upgrade, and then what's going to happen is you'll be able to upgrade to the new level that they have inside of their application. And for them, it's upgrading to get 30 more fields, you get 1,000 submissions per month, you get to have 8 forms, and then everything else they have listed here. When you're ready, you can click upgrade now to pay annually, or you can click on to pay monthly. Ultimately, take your time when selecting an application. You do want to make sure that it's giving you all of the features that you want, so you don't have to commit to the first provider that you see. You can always go back to the app market, and you can go back to forms, and you can look at other providers. Just click on them, and then make sure you're reading about them, and ultimately go to features and pricing and compare what you're getting. Right here for free, this right here with the Form Builder Plus will give you 20 form fields, okay? And you're going to have a form submission limit of 100, and there are a lot of other features as well. So you might get more under the free package with another provider, but ultimately you want to search through all the apps to make sure that you're getting the bang for your buck and they're providing exactly what you need.